Sid Beck, you asked people to make videos so that you would make videos, and said that you weren't going to do any vlogging unless other people submitted stuff to you. So today I'm going to do just that. I got this new piece of gear a couple of weeks ago, and today I'm going to write a song from scratch, and I want you to use it in your next vlog. So I'm really hyped about this thing. It's just a MIDI controller, but this brand, Nectar, includes DAW integration, which is Digital Audio Workstation. So it has automatic parameter mapping to everything that I already use in my software on my computer, which is dope. Crack open a fresh project in Logic 10. The beauty of an empty project. Kind of feeling the retro synth. So the factory default of that retro synth sounds like this. Kind of nice already. I can control all 8 of those knobs with all 8 of these knobs automatically, which is beautiful. Such a beautiful thing. So I'm gonna cook up a new sound, see what I like, and pop that in. I found something to start with, so let's record. So I've quantized that to fit on the grid, and now I want to force legato. And I want to see how that sounds. Oh yeah. That's loopable. Let's save this sucker. So I set a cycle on that chord progression so that we can just kind of loop it over and over. And there's already this harmony that I'm hearing that I really, really like that I want to pop on top. And so I've already taken the trouble of duplicating this track so I have the same sound, and I'm going to record that in. I want to design the sound of that pad a little bit more to get it to where I want it. Now, the labels you see on these knobs here, they don't actually correspond to the things that I'm affecting here. They're slightly different. So I'm watching the screen while I'm twisting these knobs. But yeah, I'm going to design this a little bit more. I want it really more muted and subdued. Maybe a little bassier, so I'm going to increase the sine level, the sine wave, and spread it out in the stereo image. Loads better. Never, ever, ever doubt the power of simplicity, because I think this sounds really sick already, and I hear a bunch of stuff going on. Like, I think we need a 4 on the floor kick to round out those notes, because I like the sound of the click of the metronome, but I want to put it in with a punchier bass. So let's do it. So let's create a new track. And for drums, I have been using Ultra Beat, which is a drum synth, a really powerful drum synth that Logic has baked in. That is really, really fun to mess with. You can create a lot of really dope sounds. So I'm gonna see what kind of kick drum I can come up with here. So a main reason why I wanted this controller specifically was because of these pads. You can map whatever you want to them, but I love using them for drums. And I've mapped the drum sound that I picked and found which one I liked to all of these pads. I'll give you a little taste. So now we've got some drums recorded in, and when I get to record with the camera off, I get to use both hands on the drum pads, which is really helpful, so that we get something like this. Pretty sweet. So a tried and true instrument for me is the Alchemy synth in Logic as well, which is a synth that is built into Logic as of a recent update, a couple of months ago I think now. And I've been messing with it tons and tons and tons. I haven't yet messed with it with this new MIDI controller, but I think it's going to be perfect for designing a lead to go over this chord progression. So now I think we're really starting to get some good layers. And I found a really awesome bell lead that I want to use over the top. Now, I've somehow made it this entire way without adding any bass to this track, which I think it desperately needs now. So it's time for some bass. Okay, here's a nice one. So let's put it in. I'm really digging how punchy these drums are, and I really like the snare because it cuts through, but I also want it to have longer decay. So I've taken it upon myself to add a bus with reverb so that we can send our snare directly to a reverb bus. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I already took the liberty of setting up my drums in multi-output so that I have each channel individually. And so then what we've got here is in bus 2, I put a long warm hall reverb over here and crank the volume all the way up. Well, set it to 0. And then on my snare sub output, I can send it to that reverb bus. So without reverb, we've got great, punchy, cuts through, but I want more decay. So this will send it. Just already 1,000 times dreamier. So I've been making this video in true chronological order, and at the beginning I said that I wanted a 4 on the floor kick. Obviously I haven't done that, and I created a drum pattern instead. And something I wanted to note about creating drum patterns, and this one that I made especially, is that you want to keep interest for the listener from beginning to end, especially if it's something that you're going to loop over and over. So it's really crucial to not have a loop within your drum loop, if that makes any sense. You want to have a lot of variety within the 4 bars that you've created for your percussive sounds, so that when it comes back again for another 4 bars, there's still interest and surprise for the listener, so that their ear doesn't get worn out. That's why I added kind of like those complex riffs and kicks at the end of the phrase. That's just a cool little technique that I can't remember where I learned that from, but I try to use that when I'm making drum patterns. So I included that here. After creating the basis of this track over the course of this morning, I'm actually really happy with it. I wasn't necessarily expecting it to go this well, creating from scratch, and I'm really digging it. So I think for the rest of the time, I'm gonna keep messing around, and then I'm gonna have to mix and master this thing and then send it off to Sid, which I hope he's gonna be stoked on. It is 1:48 in the afternoon now. I am leaving for San Diego in 10 minutes. So this is the end of the time that I have allowed myself to create this track. But I did come up with a new section, and I did use my original idea of 4 on the floor beat, which is really dope. And I kind of did a little bit of layout today as well, chunking the song into larger bits. So I'm gonna show you what the second part of the song sounds like here, and then I think call it good for today. So this is section 1 leading into section 2. I tried to include some detail in this video about my protocols and the way that I make, and I try to not focus too much on any mix or mastering or things like that. It's just adding your layers, adding your instruments, designing your sounds, right? That's what I did today, which was super, super fun, super rad. And I'm really stoked because I like this idea that Sid had for his videos, because it inspires other people to be creative, and in turn they get the reward of having Sid be creative and being able to enjoy more of his content, which we want to see. So I think this is a brilliant idea, trading videos back and forth. I know people have probably done it before, but I like that Sid is taking it really seriously. And so I hope that this inspires him to make another vlog, and I really, really want him to use this track in there. So I'm gonna go finish it, mix it, master it, add a whole bunch more stuff, and see how the final product turns out. I might actually put a little snippet of the final product at the end of this video. Sweet.